everything in Street Fighter, all buttons, any attack in footsies, there's only 3 things that you can do right. One is like stick out a preemptive button, right? Which is what you were doing. If
Right.
you know what I'm saying. Like you would do preemptive buttons a lot. That's one style. So let's say that's rock. What I was doing is paper, where I'm like waiting for you to whiff and then pressing a button. The thing that I just taught you, the micro walk forward low, that's the scissors, right? They all kind of beat each other, right? So like I noticed you were only throwing rock, so I was throwing whiff punish.
Right.
But that's kind of the general idea, is that every thing in footsies that's a button is just like that RPS. But it's a very complicated RPS because there's a bunch of different buttons with a bunch of different frame data, a bunch of different ranges, right? But that's kind of the idea, right? So it's like you're basically playing that game, but there's also like a bunch of mini games, like drive rush mini game or like jump mini game, you know. Or like if they have bad spacing, you can do your wind shit mini game, you know. That's basically how I would think about it. What's up guys, I'm Chunks and I'm a high level master player in Street Fighter 6. In today's coaching video, we talk about how you can actually understand footsies. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to watch to the end. And as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, or subscribe, because a lot of you guys who watch my videos actually aren't subscribed. So if you would consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it because it helps me out a lot. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the video. You go by Spirus or do people call you something else? Or
No, Spirus is fine.
I don't know if you're familiar with my YouTube channel or just like coaching stuff.
So you coached a buddy of mine a while ago, Stratus.
He's been telling everybody. I've had a couple people tell me they didn't know Stratus. Funnily enough.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, he just he recently hit master like about a week ago today, I think, and then I just hit it last night, and you know.
You just hit it last night.
A ton of credit for that.
What was your last like revelation you think that helped you break into it?
I was starting to work on using tighter block strings. So there were like fewer gaps in my pressure was probably my revelation that helped.
That's dope. Wait, is this your first like fighting game, or do you have like past fighting game experience at all? Or
no, this is my first fighting. I toyed around with MK1 a little bit, and then I saw this game and I picked it up and I pretty much dropped MK immediately, and I was like, I want to play this.
I think that was a good choice considering like the state of Mortal Kombat friendly is pretty good. But
I'd like to do the first to 5.
All right, let's do it then.
All right.
I actually think your neutral and everything is super solid. Like you mentioned that you thought my spacing was good, and like the higher you get, people will have better spacing, right? Like I'm pretty much just trying to be outside of the range of all your buttons, right? You would often like whiff something big. Like
heavy kick?
Yeah. Something. I was literally just like, this is how I like check people. Like whenever I play somebody who I have no information on, I just space out of everything they have and I just see what they do. That's like a very common like high level strategy to like feel out your opponent, right? If I notice they just like whiff things that are like big and chunky, it's like really easy for a good player to just like wait, and then when you whiff, I just like hit it, drive rush, and then I get a knockdown, right? The counter to that is like literally just being comfortable doing nothing. You know?
Right.
You have to be comfortable just like staying in the spacing and doing nothing, because if you whiff, I'm just waiting for you to whiff. I'm just gonna hit you, right? But the reason I think that I was also like this too. When I was like early master, I had a very like press buttonsy neutral, right? Because it works on people who don't have good spacing, right? Because people who don't have good spacing, they're gonna get like clipped by a bunch of stuff, right?
Like lately, I think I've been erring on the side of pressing more, because I'm sure you saw it a lot. I use light Arabian Cyclone to get in a lot. And obviously, you know, it's not safe to do it. You can punish it with the eye. You can just jab them out of it.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to experiment more with what pokes are effective. My offense was pretty like one-dimensional.
Yeah. Do you use this a lot?
I find that it like I have a hard time spacing it out because it's like stubbier than other characters. Like I feel like I usually get counter hit by crouch medium kick.
Yeah, so the thing about this is very good, right? But yours is stubby. Wait, I actually want to see the range. Like, yeah, okay, now stop doing it. Yeah, mine is definitely bigger. It's pretty stubby, but if you're playing a character that has stubby buttons, you can't really threaten like throwing out random shit, you know? Like, it's hard because my buttons are better than yours, right? Everything I have is bigger, pretty much. Like, this is massive. This is bigger than your crouching medium kick. You don't want to play like a pokey style. You're kind of forced to play a whiff punish style, right? Trying to force me to whiff is better for you. If you have smaller buttons, it's better to like be the Whiff Punisher, even though that's very hard, to be honest. I think the path to success for you is going to be being comfortable and neutral. And I can kind of give you some tips on that. So like, if we're both spacing outside of each other's range, and let's say I'm waiting for you to whiff, what do you think like the mind game is if I'm waiting for you to whiff?
I mean, essentially you're just waiting to see movement from me, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You're waiting for that split second when you see a startup of a normal.
Yeah, but what happens if you were to walk forward a microsecond and press a low?
Oh, then you'd get clipped by
Yeah,
it.
I'd get clipped walking. If your spacing is really good and like somebody's trying to space right out, if you just throw in like a little micro walk, it's huge. You would have definitely got me with that. The best long-term strategy is to really be comfortable spacing just outside and stopping what people have, you know? Because if you can stop their jumps and their drive rushes with checks, the game will ultimately divulge into something with footsies, right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And Rashid has amazing checks. Like, I mean, this drive rush check is near brainless. Like, it's so good.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, but that does look good. If I'm waiting for you, because I'm just waiting for you to make any sort of movement, right? And then I'm whiff punishing. If you're just like overloading my nervous system with like this stuff, like I can't whiff punish a light. It's so fast, right? It'll make me less confident in my whiff punish, you know?
That makes sense.
But like basically anytime you moved, you would whiff something chunky, which made it really easy, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Hard sometimes to do the micro walk for, or the reason that I often don't go for it is because I feel like at just the moment where I like get up and I get ready to walk in and do that, they clip me with a crouch medium kick.
Yeah, you really have to feel it out. But I think the thing that I also noticed is you would like walk back a lot. Like we were basically like perpetually in this state where you were micro walking back slightly. Yeah. And I was kind of like walking you down, just waiting for you to whiff, because I knew like as we got closer to the corner, you're pressured to do something, right?
Right.
I don't know how fast Rashid's drive rush is, but maybe you can throw in like this. This stuff is really good. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I don't think you use that at all in our set, right? Just look at what top Rashids do. I guarantee you they do some sort of drive rush into quick thing, because that's just a way to like skip neutral and set up like a 50-50, right?
Right.
So it's all about mixing it up, but I think it's hard to play this like preemptive button style because you're pretty stubby, you know?
That makes sense, yeah. So it's more on my opponent to engage and me to just kind of punish their mistakes.
That's all dependent on your opponent, right? Like I think in a game like against a random ranked opponent, you should try to gauge how they like to play the game. Like, do they stand full screen? Like, because then you can just do your Rashid stuff with your wind. Mm-hmm. Do they like to play really up close and drive rush and jump and stuff? Because then you have to be more check-y. But Street Fighter is a game where like if both players are very strong with their spacing, it will ultimately divulge into a lot of this with the other stuff sprinkled in, right? And then one other thing I want to point out, a lot of the Rashids I play, I don't know if this is just something that they all do. I don't know if it's good or like top Rashids do it, but they do the forward medium punch thing a lot. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, they like throw that out a lot. I think it's safe. Well, let me turn on the frame meter, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they do that a lot. It's kind of annoying, but
yeah,
it's safe and it's like a good poke. And if it hits you combos, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially all buttons, everything in Street Fighter, all buttons, any attack in footsies, there's only 3 things that you can do, right? One is like stick out a preemptive button, right? Which is what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you would do preemptive buttons a lot. That's one style. So let's say that's rock. What I was doing is paper, where I'm like waiting for you to whiff and then pressing a button. The thing that I just taught you, the micro walk forward low, that's the scissors, right? So they all kind of beat each other, right? So like I noticed you were only throwing rock, so I was throwing whiff punish. You know?
Right.
And then you never really threatened me with like this stuff, like, so I just stayed on the same like option in neutral.
Right.
But that's kind of the general idea, is that every thing in footsies that's a button is just like that RPS. But it's a very complicated RPS because there's a bunch of different buttons with a bunch of different frame data, a bunch of different ranges, right? But that's kind of the idea, right? So it's like you're basically playing that game, but there's also like a bunch of mini games, like drive rush mini game or like jump mini game, you know, or like if they have bad spacing, you can do your wind shit mini game, you know. That's basically how I would think about it. Yeah, I think now that the seed is planted in your brain, you'll be able to like notice that in more of your games. So just something to think about, you know.
I mean, it makes sense. Just the idea of like, as you're kind of dancing back and forth, just to suddenly take up space.
Yeah.
When they're not expecting it.
Yeah, because it's unreactable, right? It's truly unreactable for me. Like if you're doing this, you're moving so much. Like I can't tell when you just micro walk forward, right? It's so hard to react to.
Especially if I'm also kind of throwing out jabs, trying to overload you, like you said, and then all of a sudden, oof.
Yeah. And then think about it from my perspective, right? If you start throwing that in, I'm forced to start throwing preemptive buttons to catch your walk forward, you know? Because I can't react to your walk forward. And then if I'm forced to start throwing out buttons preemptively to catch your walk forward, you can not walk forward and whiff punish me, you know?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So it's like that, like, and like, I'm sure you have a good whiff punish button for this, right? Yeah. Like that, you got into the drive rush and like all that stuff. So yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention is I did notice that, I think this is a good thing, by the way. You're a very take the throw type of player, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think is great, right? I actually think that's a great game plan. Like, in general, because I'm sure you're aware it's like the lowest risk option, right? You lose the least amount of life for taking the throw.
Right.
But it seemed to me like you would either only take the throw or you would EXDP. In order to get the most out of your defense, you really want to make use of all your options to make them really guess, you know?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's all there is to say about that. There's something else. Oh, I noticed that you actually shimmy me a lot on your offense. I actually think that's good at a more mid-level, like, because shimmy is like, it's so good because it's very high reward for you if it works.
Right.
And the throw is very low reward if it works. But I would say it's one of those things that you want to gauge the level of your opponent, right? Because I actually think the better you are, the more people play like you, where they'll take more throws first to gather information.
Right.
But like when I play somebody who's like somebody I think is more like intermediate, I will usually shimmy them more because I know they'll be more random.
Can I ask you a quick question
about
totally. Something that I noticed in our games when I was hitting you with drive rush crouch light kick? Sometimes I do this thing where I don't expect it to hit, so I'm not ready with the follow-up. So I was just using it more to set up tick throw pressure. Yeah. I don't think I got you with that once. You were ready to tech it every single time.
I was delay teching every time, pretty much.
Okay. Do you just do that when you see a light, or?
I do that whenever there's a plus button on me. So like, if somebody hits me with this, it's common to delay tech after that, right? Because it's very common somebody do drive rush, jab, and a throw, right? I don't think, like, you have to, usually higher level players might do something like drive rush button into backdash into a shimmy, right? But most players aren't going to do that. I'd say most players, after they do a drive rush button, they're probably going to throw you. So the delay tech is just really good because it covers both, like if you delay tech here, you see how like you blocked? So it covers like a frame trap and it also covers throw. Yeah. So I think that's a good autopilot option, especially in ranked. It's interesting because I think that like you're like a very solid player, so like a lot of the stuff that is going to help you is more advanced, and it's interesting because some of those advanced concepts apply both on your offense and your defense. It's like you can be aware of what somebody else is doing and also implement it in your own game. So being aware of those new options both in neutral and offense and defense will really be helpful. So
it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, do you have any other questions or anything? Or I'm also down to run some more games if you want to.
No, I don't. I don't think I have any more questions. Yeah, I think everything you said makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to try to be more intentional about how I play neutral and probably switching. I think my biggest takeaway is definitely switching my style. Like that preemptive buttons just are not really made for my character. I mean, unless you're like trying to like,
I think that it will work at a slightly lower level. You know, people aren't cognizant of their spacing. I think it's fine to throw out preemptive stuff, and if you notice that people are just getting hit by it, just keep fucking doing it, right? If somebody's gonna get hit by it, just keep doing it. But the better you get, the more people won't get hit by your preemptive buttons, you know, especially as Rashid, since his preemptive buttons aren't that good. Yeah, but I actually think that like it's a little bit dangerous, right? To have your baseline strategy, like the strategy you go into every game with an unknown opponent, be like a preemptive style, because like that style auto loses to anybody with good spacing, right?
Right.
It's kind of better to like default more to like what I do, right? Where I'm playing more like good spacing and like more whiff punishing. Yeah, because people really show you, like, you will see what type of players are when you have good spacing and you just wait. Like, they will show you what kind of player they are, right? Like, even to me, like, you kind of showed me, like, I was just literally waiting here and you showed me what kind of player you are, right? You would like throw out preemptive buttons, but it's not always preemptive buttons. Sometimes you're like waiting and you're trying to see what kind of player they are. People just fucking do this shit, or they do this shit, or they throw out their own preemptive button and then you whiff punish. You know, this style like gives you a lot of information, and like the higher you go, the more playing off of information and habits is good, you know. Yeah, and I think you'll probably be able to see like just kind of like how all that stuff applies. I want to show you one other thing just to like plant in your mind before we end here. It's just to like help with the whiff punish confidence. So like some people are like really like, they're like, oh, it's like pretty hard to whiff punish, which it is when you're not like ready, but it's kind of like an OS in the sense where like let's say at this range, right? You're kind of unsure if it's gonna like, just down back actually. You're kind of unsure if it's gonna whiff like this or it's gonna hit, right? Here it whiffs and here it blocks. But like if you just press a button delayed after it would have hit your block, it'll just auto whiff punish if it whiffs, and if it blocked, nothing will come out. So like watch. Just press a button like as it's hitting you, right? You see how nothing comes out? Nothing comes out. You just have to be ready, but nothing comes out. It's also better to use a fast button for something like that. Okay. Like, do you have a good like far-reaching fast medium? That might be good. What else do you do? Your like crouching, standing mediums.
That's stand medium. That's crouch medium.
Do the kicks maybe? Let me turn on the frame meter. Actually, we could let's try to find your best like standard whiff punish. Do your mediums. 6 frame. Do the other one. That's also, I think that one might be the best.
Yeah, it's kind of disjointed like Jerry's.
Yeah. So try that with the thing that we were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Perfect. Yeah, see.
But
you did the smaller one even, and it still worked. Oh, you want to do it like
he's trying to be like preemptive about it.
Yeah, you want to do it when you see me move, like when you see like this happen, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you drive rush. Can you drive rush cancel that? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. Like, this is something I just learned like a few months ago. So like, it's something that you'll always be improving. Like, but if you're really ready for like any twitch movement and you have the read on the button that they're gonna use, it's like really good to, see. And if your spacing is good, people will whiff a lot. So.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate all the advice. I think this is gonna take me pretty far.
Yeah, no problem. It was a really fun sesh. So. Whoa, that was cool.
That was unlucky.
It just seemed a little weird.
Yeah, I've seen it happen like every once in a blue moon. I don't think it's just.
Nice no attack.
Oh,
That was wait. Doesn't that go through fireballs?
it can if you time it perfectly, but I was trying to do EX projectile. Sometimes I get front flip.
I see. I see. I missed it. Nice. Oh, I could have punished that. Missed the drive rush. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of a cheesy drive impact, but I was scared, so.
You gotta be ready for him in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice CP.
Your spacing is insane.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I think there's like a lot. You do a really good job, like in neutral and stuff. But I think there's definitely some tips I can give you that I think will help a lot.
I'm happy to hear that because I think as far as like character knowledge stuff, like Rashid's setups and stuff, even though it doesn't show in this set, I know the
tech,
the character knowledge. Yeah, it's the fundamentals and stuff. Like he's got stubby buttons that I find pretty hard to play around.
Yeah, his buttons are kind of stubby. And I think we can even I can show you some of what I have for you, and then we can even play some more, even just to like implement it. I think that would be helpful.
No.
I think you might live this with one.
It's checkmate though, since I'm in burnout. Yeah. Oh wait. Ah, nice.
Yeah, there. Just there to preempt the button and caught your walk forward.
I did.
Nice jump. Nice patience. Nice spacing outside of the kick. That was really good.
Ooh, nice.
Nice shimmy.
Ooh, that was a misinput.
Yeah, it happens.
I think one of the bigger components of implementing that style is like getting more comfortable with the distance of my crouch medium kick.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
I tried to do the micro walk forward, but I would be like just out of range.
Yeah. I definitely think that you will get worse when you first try to implement this type of play.
Yeah, but I'm prepared for that. I know losing is learning.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's so stubby.
Yeah, it is really stubby. Nice. Oh, nice shimmy. Nice super. Oh shit! What the?
That was some. I messed it up. That tech I learned.
That was kind of cool. Good patience. Yeah, that was really good. Your patience there got you like a good offensive sequence. Oh, nice. That was a really nice crouching though. Nice jump too.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, that was good.
Oh, I dropped it. Nice tech. Yeah, good job mixing that in, because if that would have landed, you would have been in throw loop scenario. Oh shit, I tried to super and I blocked it.
And you always throw in the overheads at just the right time.
Yeah, it does lose to delay tech though, and I think that's
because
so
it's so
like
slow?
yeah. Watch if you delay tech on this DRC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even on a drive rush, wow.
Yeah, or it loses the delay jab as well. It loses still any delay option. So just something to be aware of. I like that button too. That button's hard to whiff punish. It's harder to whiff punish than the kick. Yeah, nice. Because like that. Ooh, nice low. Yeah, I will say like your spacing is already so much better, and mixing in the walk forward is really good. But you also have to look for every opportunity I whiff something is an opportunity where you could have won neutral if you were ready.
Right.
Nice drive rush. In general, drive rushing at somebody who's playing very weighty will usually catch them unless they're like really good with their checks.
Right.
Nice. Good sweep. Oh, that's smart. Second tech. I like that.
Wow. You stop jumping.